Hey guys, how's it going? Nothing really too much exciting on this up-a-date, but we do have some exciting things coming up in the month of October in general. As for the week just kind of sucked. I think that being pregnant does make you realize like how much you wish that you were like closer to your family. And it's funny because I think it hit my mom harder than it hit me at first. Like, she is sad because, so I think I told her I was pregnant like the week after Mother's Day in May, and I think she's seen me twice in person since then because I work full-time, and then she, with her job, she works every other weekend. I work Monday through Friday. Then she helps with some other family stuff, so getting the two of us together in the same state is really hard. And then my friends also don't live in the state. So I guess technically I do have a friend that lives in this state. I'm in Indiana, and she's still about 2 hours away when she add in traffic and such. And then I got somebody in another country, somebody in a southern state. And then I got one more really good best friend, who's in Ohio, she's where I'm from. So at least if I do make it home, I get to see her, but just my first pregnancy has just kind of wiped me out the first like 20 weeks. So I didn't really go home very much. And now it's like after the first 20 weeks, you're already into the second trimester. My husband and I had bought a house. I think we like signed all the papers and stuff in April. I'm trying to remember. I think we signed in April, but we didn't get to move in until August, maybe July. So the basement isn't finished, and we're trying to get the basement prepped because you know how it is. You move into your house and you put away, like, you organize the kitchen, maybe the laundry area, paint a room, maybe two, and then everything else just sits in a room in boxes. So the first room we did that to was the baby room, and then we were like, all right, well, we have to paint the baby room. We have to get some baby furniture. So all this stuff is gonna have to get moved. So we had kind of gone through it, got rid of things that we could get rid of, took it to the basement. And then yesterday, my husband and I, his name's Brad, him and I went through some stuff, got up some shelving so we could reorganize it that we had from the old house. And the exciting thing is we have an interior designer coming out to help us plan the space. So I'm super excited. It's not this week, but she comes out the week after, and she's gonna come to the house and take a look. And she's really gonna help us because I'm terrible at visualizing. Like, I can't visualize anything. My husband is like literally putting painter's tape on the basement floor. And I'm just like, I can't see that. And my other problem is like, everybody really likes these basement plans that have, it's essentially like a media room, but it's not like a room. It's just like a media area. So like you have your huge TV and then your big couch, or like those theater seating things. And then not that far away, they have like bar seating with a wet bar and a TV there. And I'm like, okay, well, in an open floor plan, the house is only so big. If both of those TVs are on, that's like, it's gonna cause interference for somebody that's down there. So we thought about walling off like the media room and making it truly like it's huge, like sound, like really good sound room, dark, cool theater lighting. But then, once you start putting walls up, it makes your basement feel so small. And I told my husband, I said, okay, well, if everything in life goes great, like the kids like living here, the neighbors are great. The neighbors are great. We've met all of them, so that's fantastic. But if like the neighborhood stays good and then schools are going well, we're happy, kids are happy, like, would you be staying in this house? And he's like, no, I think eventually I want like some more land and, other stuff. And I was like, okay, well then let's not make the basement so specific to us that we have a hard time like selling it when that time comes. Because they tell you one of like the top 10 design mistakes for like finishing a basement is putting up a bunch of walls, because it's obviously easier for somebody to move in and put up walls than it is for them to like move in and take them down. So I think we're gonna really try to go with like a pretty open concept. We are going to add a bedroom down there for a couple of reasons. One, the initial goal was to like do 2 bio kids and then adopt a kid, and we're going to see how the rest of the pregnancy and labor goes with this one. But if all goes well, that's the plan. If not, hopefully we do 1 bio and then we still adopt a kiddo. But if we do that, we probably need 1 more bedroom. Plus it'll add value to put another bedroom and a bathroom down there, and the egress window's already built in. So I know we're gonna do that for sure. And then I think we're gonna try to leave the rest of it pretty open and use it more as like a big entertainment area, and maybe have like an office space down there, because Brad, he does work from home quite a bit, and who knows what I'll be doing in the future. So that'd be fun. Topic for a different day. But yeah, so I think we're gonna have like a space, but not necessarily close it off. So super exciting. If she comes out and she doesn't mind like being on some of the video, we can kind of, maybe she won't be in the video, but you can kind of hear her talking to us about that process. And then, so again, that's like 2 weeks from now. And then next week, we are interviewing a doula. So my cousin Katie just had her baby boy earlier this year. And she was like, you know, if you're gonna get a doula, like I recommend it. And Brad and I are doing these like built to birth classes. It's an online course, but highly recommend it if you want to be like really informed, because she has her preferences. I think a lot of like doulas and midwives are, you know, if you can, they'd be like, don't do the epidural, don't do the induction, like let it happen naturally. Like that stuff is there to support you, but not like your go-to. Like that's kind of the vibe you get. But at the same time, this one is really nice. This doula who's teaching the course is really nice, because she definitely like understands the need and the necessity for that for some women. And her goal is, like she said in there, her goal is to give you like the happiest, healthiest birth, and just to have you be like informed and have you be an active part in your decision making of labor, instead of going to a hospital or like a birthing center and like you're informed like this is the protocol, so they're gonna do this, this, and this, and just like telling you what's happening instead of discussing your care with you. So after watching, I had asked Brad about a doula after talking to my cousin Katie, and I think he thought like, I didn't think he was gonna be like good emotional support, which my husband's like, he's so good at that majority of the time. This week was a little rough because I was a little rough, I guess I could say. But most of the time he's like so good at that. So after watching these classes with me, he was like, you know what, if you still want to visit the idea of like having a doula, then I think we should totally go ahead and do that. Like, I'm sure it's going to be worth the money. And I'm sure you could use, again, like you might be able to use an HSA account if you have that with your insurance. I don't know. I think we're going to be able to do it out of pocket if we end up going with this lady that we're going to interview with this week. And again, I'm sure she's very good at what she does. Like her reviews are phenomenal. It's just kind of like, what's your comfort level? And if you're gonna have somebody there for the birth of your child, you wanna make sure it's like a good match personality wise, and like what you both have in mind for your birth experience and things like that. But it's really nice because they come as like a package. So it's like you get a couple visits before, you get phone calls, and then, they're there for like the birth of your baby. And then they also do like a post birth visit to your home for like whatever kind of support you need. So like if you're having a hard time breastfeeding, or like if you and your husband are doing great, and you know, if you're feeding that baby every 2-3 hours, some stuff doesn't get done. And so like she'll actually like cook a meal or bring a meal or like help clean up around the house, things like that, the time that she comes over. So that's really nice. Oops, sorry. It says battery's getting low. So again, doula this week, basement interior designer the week after. So that'll be really exciting. And then, yeah, like I said, this week wasn't too exciting. It's actually really just upsetting because my career is not going how, not only how I envisioned it, but like how I was kind of led to believe that it would go within my company. So that's been really difficult for me to cope with, I guess you could say. It's a struggle that, like, the older I get, I just feel like I have so much less time to live. And if it's not doing exactly what I wanted to do, like I went to school for 8 years, like I did 8 years of college, moved out of state for like a training that last year, like a year of training. And like I felt like I put a lot of work in what I did. And I know it reflects in the work that I do. Cause I work with across the lifespan, but that means you work with like kids, you work with adults, and the success of my like patients tells me how good of a provider I am, which is great. But at the same time, like my day-to-day schedule it's not what I want. I really dread going to work most days. It's like dread going there, and then once you get there and like you're in the first couple hours, you're like, okay. And the last hour comes and you're just like, man, I'm ready to go home. Like, I made it this far. It's not the people. I really if I didn't like the people, I definitely would have quit. Like I would have just transferred out of my field or got a different job or like something. I truly love like all of the people in my office, which I think makes it the most difficult because the people you work with are such a huge part of like your day. You can also love what you do and hate every single person in your office or your building or like however you want to word it. And I think that would would be worse. I'm not sure. I guess it depends how much you have to work with them. I have to work with everyone in my office quite a bit. Like I view it as a team effort. So trying to figure that out, but also like, so not only am I getting older and I have less time to like live, and I'm like, I work 40 hours, a week. Like I'm mandated to work 40. Sometimes you work more than that, less than that, whatever happens. But, usually more. Anyway, when you get older, it's like one of two things. I feel like there's the people who accept that like, and I do live in America. I don't know who's watching this, but like in America, it's very much like the rat race, I feel, where you're pressured to like do all of these things to reach this certain like status. And like, I wouldn't say I felt pressured to reach a certain status. Like I feel I live like well within my means. My husband is the same way. Like we have like goals and things that we want to meet. But it's not like we feel like we have to like be in competition with the Joneses, or what is that saying? Keep up with the Joneses kind of deal. But I feel like that's like, it's this like movement that you have to like keep going. Like if you're not burned out, then you're not working hard enough. Like that's kind of how I feel. If you don't feel stressed to the max and you don't feel burned out, then you're not working hard enough. And like, I've been good about that. Like I've been a lot better about, life-work balance. So that's been good. But now it's just, I got that situated, kind of like things are changing again. Stuff at work is going on. So I don't know how much of a life-work balance it'll be soon. But back to my point, there's the people who think like, in America again, I don't know about every country, but in America, it's like, okay, like this is just life. Like this is what you do. You clock in, clock out, go home, hopefully enjoy your family. Maybe you don't because you're working all these hours and then still not able to like feel like afford things to experience life, like go to dinner or go on a vacation or whatnot. And then you just get up and you do it all over again the next day. And then I feel like there's the people who very much are on like the opposite end of that spectrum and or just have like a different mindset about things. Like life is meant to live. It's not meant to work. And I guess when I was younger, because my mom is one of the hardest workers I've ever known. And so, and still is, like she's still working. She's getting up there in age. I'm like, are you gonna go part-time? I don't think so. I don't think she can go part-time. But I think I like very much grew up in that mentality of like work, and like do your best and be your best and all of this stuff. And I'm not saying don't do your best and don't be your best, but like you are only on this earth for such a short amount of time when you think about how long, like, across like the universe, and I don't know what I'm trying to say, but basically, like, even if you say you're here for 100 years, like, there are so many people before you and there's going to be so many people after you. Like, that 100 years is such a short amount of time. And I feel like the older I get, I'm kind of like, well, when I get a lot older, I'm not going to be as mobile to like go travel to these places that I wanted to travel, or do these things that I wanted to do, or like have the cognitive ability to learn new things that I want to learn, things like that. And then also like starting my family in the upcoming year, I'm just like, well, if doing what I'm doing now isn't like what I absolutely love, and I end up, which I think we're all, I think deep down a lot of people do, if you like were wanting to have kids and you're blessed enough to have kids when they come, I think a lot of people do like love being a mom or a dad. So I'm gonna hope that's my experience, that I love being a mom. And you know, at the point it's like, do I keep dragging myself to work and then coming home mentally and emotionally like drained from said job and feeling like I don't have a lot to give my kid, or like I have to like put on this persona to interact with my child and my husband, because otherwise you come home and you're just like dead energy. It's like dead air, I guess is the best way I would describe it. So it's like, at what point is it worth it? I guess if you can live on one salary and live within your means, or downsize and make it happen. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but that was this past week. A lot of those kind of thoughts. And I think also like if I had family or friends in the area, it would be a lot better. But I've been here for, I've officially been here 6 years, because I just had my 6-year anniversary at work. And I have like friends at work, and I don't want to say like friends if they're not. I mean, if I asked somebody for a favorite work, I know that they would do it. If I needed to trust them with something, I know that I could trust them. But at the same time, it's like you spend 40 hours with these people at work, so you don't really spend time with them outside of work. So it's more of like this category of work friends compared to like actual friends. And then, you know, I feel like I'm active in my church. I'm becoming more active in my church. And go to church when I was younger. Not my parents' fault, that was my fault. I just really was stubborn about that for some reason. But I've like made it a point as an adult to kind of find like what I believe in and be a part of that movement. And I want to better my community. Like wherever I end up, I want to better my community, which led me to a few churches, and we found a great one that I absolutely love. And like, you know, when they need help, they'll say, oh, hey, we're doing this thing. Like, can you help out? And if I can, I'm like, oh yeah, sure. No problem. And again, like you meet people at church, but it's like so much easier to make friends it's so much easier to make friends in your teens, and definitely easier in your 20s, because it's like once you hit a certain age, and I really think this age is more like 28, but we're gonna say 30. I feel like once you hit your 30s, it's kind of like you're established in your pattern. So like, again, your job, your church, your hobbies, your family life. And it takes effort to like make a new friend. Even if that person's like super friendly and nice, it just takes like effort to maintain a friendship in general. So I feel like as we get older, we have less friends, but we have like really great quality friends to each person's preference. And it's, again, really hard, because even though I go to these church events and I'll see somebody like once a month, again, you go to church, you see them on Sunday, you go to this event or like this organization thing that you volunteer for through your church with this person, and then you never see them outside of that, because like they've got their own kids, and their kids got the stuff that they got to do, and they have their stuff that they have to do. And it's just really hard, because I'm pretty open. Like I'm a very open person, and I would say I'm more of an extrovert than an introvert. And like I get along with my husband's friends just fine. Like just fine. funny, I'll tell you about him telling him we were getting married one time, but like, I don't have a problem. I can pretty much be down for a lot of things. But it's just really hard to get people to like commit. Even when I moved here, I tried using, well, at one point I was single and I was using like dating apps for that. But then Bumble had this mode where you could like, if you were a girl, you could match with a girl for like a friendship to start. And even then it, like people, they would not message back, or they would message back and then flake at the last minute or like the day before, be like, oh, hey, I can't meet up. And then you're trying to reschedule and they're like, oh, it's just not a great time. Like, let me get back to you. And then nothing. So I'm just in this place again. I think that starting your family makes you really want to be closer to all of your connections. And I don't have any of them. Like, I really just have my husband. And sorry, it's like, it makes me sad, but I'm not gonna cry. But I really just have my husband, who is like, he is the most amazing man that I could have met for me. And I'm so blessed. Like, timing, I have no idea. It all worked out and I just got so lucky. But like, I know that he can't be my everything. And like, he knows that too. He wouldn't say it that way, but like, I can't depend on him for like all of my needs, in regard to like human contact. Like, he's already my husband. He's one of my best friends and he's about to be the father of my child. So he can't be, he just can't be everything all of the time. And so that's just kind of where I'm at. So I'm sure you guys also, if somebody's in the same boat, feel very similar. But yeah, last week is last week though. It's Sunday night. We're moving into a new week. And like I said, super exciting things, meeting a doula, interior design. We have another baby appointment at some point. And I have to drink that like juice for the gestational diabetes test soon. So that'll be fun. I'll let you guys know how that goes. But anyway, just a short vlog. Hopefully I get better at like doing some of the fun like edits and stuff, because I think that if I can get like, if I can start adding clips together, because really I don't edit, I just kind of turn on the camera and go. But if I can get it where I like do a clip here and then do a clip later in the day and put them together, I'd like to do like a throughout the week kind of thing. I think that'd be fun. And then like a recap on Sunday or something like that. But yeah, oh, also before I go, this shirt, I'm telling you, pregnant or not, it looks a little weird because I am pregnant, but before I was pregnant, it was like the best fit. It was very much like would hang off your chest and was very flat, but it still was very, like flattering, like the cuts down here and the thick band, very, very flattering. And it is so soft. It's from The Loft. It's their Lou and Gray line. And it has like this V-neck that comes down with these strings, and then this hood back here. And I'll try to put it in the description box, because again, pregnant or not, you need this. And I'm definitely gonna buy like a bigger size, because now, like I said, it used to be like baggy, but we are getting big. We are getting big. So, but yeah, while I was wearing it, I just wanted to shout this out. So, alrighty guys, I'll see you hopefully next week. Bye.